All right, let's code some solutions to those problems. I'm not going to bother hiding it. I did Google representative names. Um, oh, wow. I've got a lot of stuff open here. Nothing too dodgy. So let's carry on. So the answer to question one, and this is actually easier than the example we did. So I'm going to code. I think I'm just going to put everything in one class. If you did lots of classes, that's cool. I don't want a million classes over there. It's just going to get confusing for me. So I'm going to call these lesson one solutions. You know what? Lesson one, solution one. I'm going to do a separate class for all of them. It's just going to get too messy. So main method. And what I want to do here is I want to, thank you so much for that. I want to allow the user to enter and store 8 integers and then display the integers. So let's do that. So enter and store 8 integers. Sounds like a great time to use an integer array. I haven't really told you what you're doing anything with them, so I pretty much have to call this nums. If I'd said ages, or weights or heights or something, then I'd give it a better name. So I'd call it int ages. You know what? I'm going to pretend that I'd asked over here, I said, write the user to enter and store 8 ages, just so I can show you good variable naming. So I'm going to call it ages. You know what? Actually, if I really want to be fancy, I'm going to call it ages array. I did not show you anything like this when I was doing the first lesson. So if you called yours ages or nums or whatever, please don't feel bad. But I'm feeling bad because we should probably get some naming. In fact, I'm going to call it ages R. We typically use the abbreviation ARR to indicate that something is an array. So ages R equals new ages R. I wanted 8, so I put an 8 here. So my size is 8. I know that I keep saying, let's not be an idiot, it's new int 8. I know that I keep saying computers count from 0. That's true when you're counting blocks of an array, but size counts from 1 as normal. So I want 8 blocks, and I want to allow the user to enter data. So I'm going to create a for loop. I want to go from 0 up to, but not including 8. That's why its I is less than 8. If you wondered how I got that for loop up there so fast, I typed FOR tab. If you don't know how to do a for loop, type it out manually, and once you've done it like a million times like I have, then take the shortcut. So I'm going to say ages are not naught. If I did ages are naught, it would literally write into the same block over and over and over again. So I need ages are I is equal to integer.parseInt j option pane dot, let's get capital P dot show inputs dialog. Enter the age of girl, and just put a little I plus 1. That's cool. So it'll say enter the age of girl 1, girl 2, girl 3, girl 4. And I'm going to want to import javax.swing.star. Awesome. And that's the first bit done. That is my code and enter and store 8 integers. And I want to display the integers. Literally just display the integers. No need to do this with an array, but it's just practice. So I'm doing another for loop. I want to, again, from 0 to 8, because that's how big my array is. And I literally want to go system.out.println age, silly me. We get a little practice here with some I's plus 1s. Your output might not look like that. I really like to have, when I'm asking someone to enter something, I like it to look exact. I like it to be very clear what's going on. And when I output, I like to be very clear about my output. And that's something you can work towards if you haven't done something like that. So I can say age I plus 1 is plus ages are I. Right, and if your code, wait, let's just see what it's whining about. Really, this is the second time I've put the plus inside the quotes instead of outside. And your code probably doesn't look, as nice and clean and pretty as mine does. In terms of like the output, but I didn't actually ask you to, but maybe we'll get there. if it's going to be really fiddly, I'd like to put a full stop over there and there, but I'm not going to be that fiddly. So long as you've got, even if your input and output wasn't quite as nicely phrased, so long as you were able to enter 8 numbers and display them, then you're a winner. So let's run this. So let's say girl 1 is 18, and then 20, and then let's say 17, and then whatever, let's say 93. At 93, maybe you're so old that you actually want to be called a girl again. 23 definitely doesn't want to be called a girl. Why I'm talking like this is beyond me. 16, and then 25. No, I wanted 8. Whatever, 10. Okay, and if we take a look, I can see age 1 is 18, age 2 is 20, age 3 is 17, 93, 23, 16, 25, 10. Looks good. That is lesson 1, solution 1. If you got it, awesome. If you didn't, stop the video, try and code it without looking at that, and then come back and take a look and see how you did. If you haven't yet done solution 2, then stop watching until you do, problem 2, then stop coding until you do problem 2. But I am just going to carry on. So, pause the video, obviously, if you're in that position. So lesson 1, so wish I could capitalize or spell. Lesson 1, solution 2, main method. I'm being lazy about it. And write code to allow the user to enter and store 5 integers. After all integers have been added, I should have said stored really. You know what? I'm going to change that. Write code to add 2 to every value. I did that because I didn't want you to have them enter something, immediately add 2, and then store it, because we're practicing going through loops. Looping through arrays. So, I didn't tell you to output it. That's fine. We're not going to do it. So, I'm just going to call these nums. So, int nums equals new int 5. I want a for loop going up to, let's practice what I preach. Up to, but not including 5. Okay, why is this whining at me? Oh, look at that. I forgot to put the square brackets, and it's saying you can't int. So if I say like this, int nums, it's literally just one single variable. Okay, one space. So I can't put 5 spaces into one space, so I need to put the blocks there to say, the brackets there to say, hey, I want an array. And then I hope you saw that reading the error message supremely helpful. You really, really, really have to read your error messages if you want to program well. What was I doing? Oh, we're at 4. Int I is equal to 0. So I want to start at block 0. I is less than 5. So I want to go up to, but not including 5, I++. And then I want to say nums I, is equal to integer dot parse int j option pane. If you're getting tired of this, pretty soon we're going to be reading from file. Look at that, Rob's playing Destiny 2. Ignore that. So j option pane dot show inputs dialog, enter number. Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to go enter the number here. You've seen how to do enter number 1, number 2, number 3, and this is for all the people who didn't bother doing that. So that should enter those. And then I said afterwards, I want you to add 2 to each one. I need to import. So import javax. If I'd put everything in one file, I'd have to stop having to type this every single time, but whatever. I want to go from 0 to 5. Your reverse is in number 3. Okay, so I want to go from 0 to 5. So I'm going to say nums I equals nums I plus 2. So if I'd said nums I equals 2, it would literally have gone. I've got 5 blocks. It would literally have gone and made them all 2. Okay, but instead, let's pretend, I'm just going to type some random values in here. So this is after I've run the first for loop. I've put, let's say I entered 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, and then because I say nums I equal, oh my word, sorry, equals nums I plus 2. If I was being paid for this, a huge chunk of money, I'd go through and edit out the mistakes, but I'm not. So basically what I'm saying over here is I want to set nums I, let's say I is 0 for now, so it's set block 0 to the current value of block 0 plus 2. Okay, and so then it was going to go through and 10 turns into 12, then I becomes 1, so it turns into 17, I becomes 2, 22, I becomes 3, 27, I becomes 4, 32, I then becomes 5, and 5 is too big for my for loop, so it stops running and I don't crash. And let's just run this. Enter a number. Why not? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And you won't see any output because I didn't ask it to. So if you wanted to check, you could go through and do a println. Print them out. You can go like this. I just want to make a mistake here. So let's say I made this array too small. Or, okay, let's say I typed less than or equal to 5 here. That is too big because that is literally going to be value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is in fact 6 blocks. Way too big. I've only got 5 blocks. If I run this, it's going to go fine. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now I'm entering the one. There is no space for a 35 because I do not have a 6th block. Immediately array index out of bounds exception. It's saying index 5 out of bounds for length 5. By that stage, I was 5. 5 is too big because it can, the biggest number in a length 5 is 4. And that's why I really, really want this to be less than. Okay, so that's solution 2. Hopefully you did well. I misspelled it. I am not fixing it. Let's create a new one. So let's go lesson 1. Oh, can't put a space. Solution, for crying out loud. Solution 3. It's going to bug me. Okay, so if I want to rename this, just because it's bugging me, I'm going to go right click, and there's no rename. But if I go into this thing called refactor, I'm going to choose rename. And if I had a big complicated project and I was using this class in multiple places, which you'll learn about, then it would go through and rename it everywhere, but it's just here, so it's really just a straightforward rename. There we go, and now everything's in order and I can relax. Main method, and I don't want that. Okay, the Discord thing may be mildly offensive, but you know what, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Sorry. Right, lesson 1, solution 3. Okay, write code to allow the user to enter and store 7 names. Display the names in reverse order. So, first I want names. So I'm now going to create a string. Names. I want it to be an array. New, and this time it's a new string array. And I wanted 7 names, I think. Let's enter them. By now, I mean, you should be so tired of this. It's so boring. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Slightly different because it's an array, but I mean, we go up 0 to 7. Sorry, it's a string. And now I go names. You know what? Look at me. I'm going to remember to import before Java shouts at me. I am improving. And I can now say names I equals J option pane. Oh, for crying out loud. Still can't type to save my life. Dot capital P dot show input dialog. So the fact that I pushed a dot and nothing came up, that was how I know I'd screwed up J option pane. Probably shouldn't say that. That's probably swearing, but whatever. Enter name plus and I plus 1. Cool. There we go. And I want to display them in reverse order, and this is now where stuff gets slightly interesting. So I want my loop now. So if I've got 7 blocks, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it should come as no surprise that they're numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now I want to start at block 6, and I'm going all the way up to and including 0. So if I want to start at 6, I'm going to say int I equals 6. And then I want to go all the way up to and including naught. So I want to start at 6, and I keep going while I is greater than or equal to naught. And then I want my I to decrement. I want it to go down. Okay? So the I minus minus, this means you're going to go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If I did a plus, it would go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I wouldn't get to 0 until it overflowed. And by that, I would absolutely be crashing. The program would crash as soon as it got to the next block, because it'd be trying to go to 7. It isn't there. So I do have to go down. Reminder, this isn't where it stops. This is more the keep going while. So keep going while I is greater than or equal to 0. So 6 is greater than 0, it'll run. 5 is greater than or equal to 0. 4 is greater than or equal to blah, 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 blah. 0 is greater than or equal to 0, because that's equal. Then as soon as I go down to -1, -1 is not greater than or equal to 0, so it's going to stop. And all I can do is I go system.println names I. You might... Oh, okay, no. I thought initially I thought I had the output like this, in which case you wouldn't have used a println, you'd have just done a print. But let's try and run this. So I'm going to enter some names in alphabetical order, just so I can see that it's printing in reverse order. So I'm going to go with alphabet as my first name, then birch as my second name, then candle, then dog, then elf, or L, whatever, and then fighter, and G, gorilla. Cool. Gorilla, fighter, L, dog, candle, birch, alphabet. Looks like that worked. So if you got those correct, well done. If you didn't, try them again.